cut a long story short, the delivery that I was hoping would arrive didn't, because of the fiestas, the Easter fiestas. But I've managed to borrow a bag of cement powder from a friendly neighbour. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to fill in these gaps and these gaps. Right, so it's been about 5 days and this is pretty solid now. It's all dried up. Same goes for this. Solid. I'm now waiting for materials still. They should arrive today. So while I'm waiting, I'm actually just grinding down, cutting some tiles to fit here. So I've been cleaning some tiles. You can see all of the old cement that I've picked off them. These 100 tiles are pretty much clear of cement. This morning, for about 3 hours, I was using a wire brush to scrub the back of them clean, getting all of the remaining tile cement off them. So yeah, a combination of scraping with a spatula and a wire brush to just clean them off back down to the original tile. I've now got about 120 clean ones, and I think I need probably about 20 more. I think there's about 120 to 130 here, so I need about 20 more, but I'm gonna leave the rest for now. So these ones are clean except for the edges, so I need to go around the edges with this little saw. So here's all the tiles ground and brought into the room that I'm tiling. There's some in that corner, there's some over here. Totals to 117 tiles, and that's not quite enough to tile this room, but there's also a bunch of broken ones down here, down there. Okay, I've started laying out the tiles, still waiting for the delivery of materials, but I've been prepping and cutting tiles, putting them in place, so I'm going to start with this stretch and get it level as best as possible. So from this step to where that floor starts, I'm going to have to grind away a bit of it's too high, you can kind of see it. You can see it kind of bulges in the middle there, and I need to grind that down a bit so that the tiles won't be bulging as well. And again here, I'm going to have to grind this down because it bulges out quite a lot. So that's going to be dusty and horrible. I'll do that tomorrow. Right, so I've given grinding the concrete a try. And you can see here, it's been ground. Here's kind of as it was before, just to give you a contrast. So that's what it looks like originally. And then when it's ground, it looks like that. It's very hard work and really dusty, but I think it's going to be necessary in some of the higher points. I've cut all of the tiles for this section, so that's all done. And then this side is also, everything is fitted, but they're not, again, not cemented in. But I've cut all of the little strips here that will go along the edge. Same here. There's some little strips there that will go fit in the little gaps. So everything's ready here. So probably tomorrow, assuming the materials come, I'll be able to get all of that in straight away. Just slap it in. Be able to slap that in and then go over here. Let all that dry, and then the following day I'll try and finish this. But most likely it will take me probably 3 days to lay all of the tiles. Optimistically 2, but we'll see. So here's some of the delivery that I've just brought down from up the hill. Had to wheel it down in wheelbarrow, and about 5 or 6 sacks per wheelbarrow, so quite a few trips. This is one of the pallets, there's 4 in total. So yeah, fair bit more to do, but 25% out the way. So I'm going to have a break from lugging materials, and I'm going to start laying some tiles. This is the tile cement, so yeah, I'm going to take some of this upstairs and whack some tiles in. So this is as far as we got yesterday. Really good progress. All of this is tiled here. once it's all cleaned up, it's going to look nice. Also got this section laid down properly, and I did a long strip down here. So now from this strip I'm going to be working either direction, just going back towards the stairs, filling everything. And I'm just starting here in this corner. I've got a bucket of mortar ready, and I had to grind this down a lot, as you can see. Had to grind the crap out of it in like 5 separate sessions to let the dust clear each time. The room was just completely full of dust. But that's all done now, and I think most of the other bits are ground as well. Like I had to grind bits all over the floor just to pull it down a little bit. Okay, this is how we're looking now. Probably done for the day, because it's kind of hard work. But we'll see. I'm going to have a little rest and maybe do a bit more tonight. It's all looking good. So all of this is tiled. All of that is tiled. So it's just this section here that needs finishing. Okay, here's another little update. I've tiled this section here and a strip along here, which is still wet. Pretty good going today. I've done this as well as some other stuff, like I've been making some holes for tubes. So these tubes here are going to go in the wall, and then there's going to be a couple of sockets here just above the kitchen work surface, and then same thing here, just a couple of sockets. I don't know, maybe I'll put a TV up here or something, and a sofa there. So there's a socket there, and the same behind this. Bit less neat, but the same thing. There's going to be a socket there to plug the fridge in. Okay, I'm absolutely exhausted, but we've done it. So the remainder of the room has been tiled. This was probably the hardest section yet of any floor I've laid. Lots of grinding and shaping, and yeah, lots of work. But it's in. I never need to think about it again now. What I'm going to do now is let this dry, and I'll give it all a clean. Right, so here we are in the kitchen, and I'm going to do some plastering. So I'm going to fill in this gap under here, under this column, with a brick, and plaster it up. I'm going to plaster up this column here. I'm going to put tubing in here for the sockets and plaster them up. I'm going to plaster up round here. Around here, around here, around here. And also behind the fridge there's a big patch that needs plastering. And some more tube here. So, and maybe this little section by the step as well. We've been doing a lot of plastering. We plastered this hole. This used to be big. I forgot to film this in the last bit, but basically this used to just be very rough and crude, basically a hole in the wall. So I filled it in with bricks. It needs plastering to make it look nice. But I started plastering, giving a rough coat of plaster along the stairs here, along here. Done this. Also filled in this, filled in underneath these columns, underneath that one there. I've put the tubing behind the wall here, and the cable's just hanging out for now. I'm going to get the sockets in soon. I've plastered this column crudely. All of this is just crude plastering. So I've fit the tubes in here, and I've started plastering up here as well, filling that in. I've just been bashing out a few more holes for tubes here. So I completely forgot about this, but we need plug sockets here for an oven and a dishwasher if I want one. So I'm going to put one here with the tube going along to this grey one here. And then the electrician had put in this extra tube here for plug sockets. I'd completely forgotten about it. But yeah, we just found it, so I thought, okay, well, just put another tube and then a singular plug socket here, maybe put a toaster or something, who knows, kettle. So yeah, just doing that now. So the first layer of fine plaster here has pretty much dried now. So I'm going to just give it a sand and hopefully the final coat of plaster. You can see it's pretty rough still, even though it's the final, second to last coat. So I need to sand it back and give it that last coat. So this section of the room is pretty much done, which is super satisfying. So yeah, as you can see, the walls look kind of crude, but they're actually smooth and ready to be painted. They've all been plastered. Same goes for this wall, and I've got sockets in all along here. And I've got a very temporary little kitchen workspace, worktop set up. It's just an old door with a sink plumbed in, and then there's some more sockets down here. The fridge is in place, and all of these beams have been cleaned up nicely, so they're looking good, ready to paint. Right, here's the kitchen, and then there's a stairwell here, and there's a hole in the wall here. And this hole leads into the old house, so this section of the house is much older and a massive project. So what I'm going to do is brick this up, brick up the house and ignore the problem for a bit, ignore this problem house. So yeah, I'm going to brick this up now. There we go, the wall's built and rendered. Once this dries, I'm going to plaster it. Okay, so yesterday I've been busy just cleaning the kitchen, furniture, focus. And yeah, I got this super temporary kitchen set up here. Third time I've had a temporary kitchen, but this will be the last, because once the rest of the house is kind of structurally finished and dust free, this will be the prime focus. So just fitting a kitchen, obviously. I couldn't even do it now if I wanted to, because I don't have the materials. I need to gather them all together and plan it, lay it out, make sure I've bought everything, But still, it's super nice having an actual space that you can be and have, cook meals in and stuff, even though it's kind of temporary. It's amazing when you're coming from living in absolute poverty in a building site to having something as simple as this, how satisfying it can be. So I've done a couple of little jobs because I'm kind of on low energy at the moment. So I've just plastered this section here above the, when you come down the stairs, so that's newly plastered. And I've also plastered in the gaps of the stairs. So I've done this here, sort of rounded them off and just given them a little detail there. I might just leave them with that coarse plaster, but I can always go over it with some finer stuff and paint it. I think in any case I'll probably paint it. So yeah, I've just done that, and I've also given this wall a rough coat of plaster. I'll let that dry and probably just give it actually it'll probably need a second coat, I imagine, because just to get the level right.